Anyway, let's get started. Before I move today, I wanted to do sentence construction. So I just want to move away from the tenses a little bit, just to give our minds a bit of a break and just to go through a little bit of the sentence construction. But before we do that, I just want to touch on last week's lesson and worksheet that we did. If anyone has any questions, anything they want to say about that worksheet, and then I just want to go through the 4 questions of that comprehension. Okay, Robin, I think you had a question for me regarding the worksheet.
I did. I'm a little confused with verbs like wash. So I understand if I'm saying I wash myself and it's not transitive, but if I wash my teeth or my hands, that seems to me to be transitive, so I wouldn't use a reflexive there. Is that correct? Or is it avoiding the reflexive is just baby talk? I'm not sure.
Okay, so both will be acceptable, but grammatically, it's better to say I washed myself. So you would use the reflexive mi. So mi sono lavata, or mi sono lavato, mi sono lavata I denti. So you would use the reflexive.
Okay.
You can say ho lavato I denti, but that would usually be if somebody asked you the question, did you wash your teeth or did you brush your teeth? So you would say sì, ho lavato I denti. But again, grammatically, it would be better to say mi sono lavata I denti. Mi sono lavata.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? No? Okay, sorry, I don't know why that popped up. Okay, I'm going to just share the screen so we can just go through the answers to the comprehension. And there we go. Okay, so the comprehension questions were, a Giovanni piace stare a letto fino tardi. So the answer would be no, because it says si alza presto al mattino. So this comprehension just gives you a different way of saying the same thing. So stare a letto fino tardi or alzarsi presto al mattino is the different way of saying getting up early. All right, so the answer is no. Alle 16:30 Giovanni esce dall'ufficio di fretta. Di fretta is another way of saying di corsa. So it means in a hurry. So the answer is correct. So it's true. Giovanni lavora alla periferia di Milano is incorrect. It's false because it says that he works nel centro di Milano. So periferia is the outskirts and centro is the center. And then the last one, la sera Giovanni compra del cibo per la sua famiglia is the same as saying fare la spesa. So fare la spesa and comprare del cibo is the same thing. So the answer would be vero. Okay. And then your exercise 2 was to write a paragraph of what you do in a day. Thank you. Those that did it are corrected. Those that didn't, if you still want to send it through to me for correction, you're welcome to do so. Okay. So any questions? Can we move away from the past tense?
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting a smile from you, Doug, at least to say yes.
Please, can we move away?
Yes,
Well,
please.
you can move away, but I guarantee I'll be back again as soon as you introduce the next topic.
That's fine. That's fine. We are going to revisit the past tense again, obviously at the next lesson. It's just, I'm not going to harp on something for lessons on end because otherwise it gets boring and then your mind sort of goes into a stagnant phase. So by introducing new topics, then you can start mixing and matching and you'll start using them in your conversation. All right, so let me bring up my PowerPoint, which I so diligently did for you guys so that I don't just run Word documents, makes it much better. Let me see. Move that. Oh dear, and this thing drives me insane. Sorry, I'm so technologically not advanced, so you must please forgive me if things don't work sometimes. All right. So your sentence construction in Italian is actually quite simple. It follows a lot of rules. And the good news is that although the sentence construction is set, it's not set in the sense of it has to be done. In Italian, you can get away with quite a bit. So it's not too bad if you don't get the order right. It's just good to know the order because in general, that's how it works. All right, so your declarative sentences are sentences which are basic sentences, and they follow a simple structure. Your subject is followed by your verb, is followed by your object. Okay, so Marco legge un libro. Marco, subject, legge, your verb, un libro, Marco reads a book. Okay. When you have questions, your questions also are very easy in Italian because they also follow the same pattern as your declarative at times. So the main form of your subjects for questions is verb first, then your subject, then your object, or verb first, then your object, then your subject if it's a yes and no question. Okay, so you've got, for example, legge Marco quel libro. Does Marco read that book? So you've got your verb, you've got your subject, and you've got your object. But you can switch it around and say, legge quel libro Marco. So again, you've got your verb, then you've got your object, which is the book, and then your subject is Marco. Okay, so both of them will work. So you don't have to stress too much about sentence construction. Okay. Also, you have sentences in Italian that can just become questions just by adding a question mark after it. So for example, the sentence is tu sei italiano can become tu sei italiano just by adding a question mark. Okay, so you change your tone and then your sentence can become a question. So if you don't remember how to formulate a question, you can do that as well. So then you have your commands, verb first, object, or again, verb first, subject plus object if you want to make emphasis. So in Italian, a lot of your sentences can be changed and the context can be changed simply by changing your tone. Okay, so for example, leggi il libro, or leggi il libro becomes a question. Okay, understood? All right, your adjective noun order. This is where now a lot of people have trouble. And again, I say it can be changed. It's not grammatically 100% grammatically correct, but it can be done, especially in the south of Italy, they'd reverse the order. So it's not a problem, but your main subject order is adjective comes after the noun. So la casa è grande or la casa grande. Right. So if you follow that, it will be quite easy to remember. Your adverb as well usually comes after the verb. So for example, Marco legge sempre un libro. So your adverbs, sempre, spesso, di solito, come after your verb, not before. Okay. Then to make a sentence in the negative, all you have to do is place a non in front of your verb, and that makes it a negative sentence. So legge Marco il libro becomes non legge Marco il libro. Okay, is Marco not reading that book? So same question, just by adding non makes it a negative sentence. All right. Your expressions that you use to indicate time, for example, domani, ieri, la settimana scorsa, etc., will always come at the beginning of a sentence. And again, depending on your emphasis or context. So if you want to change the context of your sentence, you can put it at the end of the sentence. But typically and grammatically, it's usually at the beginning of the sentence. So your construction then would be your time, which is domani, your verb, and your object. And if you now take what we said at the beginning, if you have a subject, verb, object, domani would come in front of that. So you would have time, subject, verb, object. Okay, and if you have an adverb after your verb, you would have time, subject, verb, adverb, object. If you have an adjective after your object, it would be time, subject, verb, object, adjective. All right, so it follows the same pattern. It is very easy to follow. And like I said, it's not a big stress if you mix them up, but if you follow this pattern, it will be easy to do your sentence construction. All right, so again, if you want to change your emphasis, you can put your time at the end of the sentence. Okay, then indirect and direct object pronouns. This is where people get a little bit confused because of it being direct or indirect. But typically, your indirect object pronouns will precede your verb. Okay, so if you're saying mi lavo, it becomes mi lavo, which is in front of your verb, while the direct objects will also come before the verb, or they can be attached to the verb itself. Okay, so for example, Marco mi legge un libro. So Marco reads me a book. Or you can also say Marco leggimi quel libro. So leggimi, because you've added the pronoun at the end of the verb, it becomes an indirect object pronoun. Okay, so mi always in front if it's reflexive. So mi sono lavata. Ti sei lavato. Okay, or if you want to say wash yourself, then it becomes lavati. Okay, this I know is going to give a little bit of problems, but you will pick it up as we do the exercises. Okay, so I don't want you to worry too much about the reflexive, just to know the order of how they are formed, and just make sure that you put them in front of your verbs. All right, so like I said, Italian word order is flexible, and you'll find that very often in poetry, literature, and informal speech. Different regions in Italy form their sentences in different ways. They use emphasis by adding words at the end of the sentence in order just to make it a different thing. It's a stylistic choice, so it changes. It's not rigid. So sentence construction is not rigid, so that's why I don't want you to worry too much about it. But if you follow this order, you won't have any problems. Okay, so I have put words in not order. Sorry, my nose is driving me mad. And we are going to put them into order. But before we do that, I've put sentences that I would like to translate into Italian, and it's going to follow the orders of what we discussed today. So you've got your subject, your verb, and your object. Your adjective always follows your noun, and your adverb always follows your verb. So those are the 4 rules that you need to understand and follow in order to get these correct. Okay, right, let's see. Let me show my grid. It's here. Okay, so who wants to start? Let's start with Nina. The cat sleeps.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno. The cat sleeps on the bed.
Il gatto dorme sul letto.
Good.
Sul letto.
Correct. So you've got il gatto, subject, dorme, verb, object, on the bed. The bed is your object. And your preposition will also follow your, precede your object. So, il gatto dorme sul letto. Correct. Okay, Suzanne, I have a blue car.
Ho una macchina blu.
Ho una macchina blu. Correct. Again, subject, verb, object, adjective follows the object. Okay, Doug, she reads a book in the garden.
Let's see. Lei lei leggere, leggera, un
Legge.
libro in, legge un libro in giardino.
Good. Correct. Okay. Again, she is the object, the subject. She reads the verb, a book in the garden. Where is preceding your object? Sorry, not preceding, following your object. So lei legge un libro in giardino. Good. Okay. Robin, we go to the beach tomorrow.
Andiamo a Spiega ieri.
Okay, so tomorrow is domani.
Oh, domani.
Yeah,
Oh.
the rule is it's time starts the sentence. So you would say domani
Domani.
andiamo
Andiamo.
al mare o andiamo in spiaggia. Okay, so domani andiamo in spiaggia. Okay, Mary Beth, they watch a movie at the cinema.
Guardano un film alla cinema.
Good. Guardano un film al cinema. Good. I
Al-
like to dance, Jen.
So I like. So sono piace. I like to dance. Piacere a ballare.
Okay, so you've got piacere. Conjugate that to present to yourself.
So to myself, present would be sono.
No, piacere would be piace.
Piace, sorry.
Okay, so piace, mi piace ballare. So you have to use the reflexive mi because it's yourself. You like something yourself. So mi
Thank you.
piace ballare. Okay, good. He has 2 dogs and 3 cats. Suzanne, can you do that one?
Sorry, I was
oh,
on
go ahead.
mute and I couldn't get it on muted. So I'm so sorry.
Guys, if you want, leave your mutes off, then it makes it easier because there's no noise in
Okay.
the background. If there is, then I'll
Yeah.
tell you. But for now, I think leave
Yeah.
them all on.
Yeah, no, there shouldn't be. Sorry about that. Ha
No worries.
due cani e 3 gatti.
Correct. Ha 2 cani e 3 gatti. Good. Do you want a pizza for dinner? Mary Beth, do that one.
Vuoi una pizza per cena?
Correct. Vuoi una pizza per cena? And how would you use that in a declarative, making a declarative sentence into a question without using vuoi?
Ti piace una pizza?
Or you could just say una pizza per cena.
Oh,
That's what I mean when I say you can take a sentence and just make it a question just by changing the tone. So that's how you can do it in Italian. Okay.
So what was the verb in that? The way you did it last?
Vuoi, volere.
Okay.
Do you want? Volere. So it becomes vuoi because it's you. Tu vuoi una pizza per cena.
In the declarative?
Declarative would be una pizza per cena.
And no verb?
No verb.
Okay.
So if you're sitting with someone and you're thinking about what to have for dinner, you could just simply say una pizza per cena, and that becomes the question.
Okay.
Okay. The weather is warm today.
Yes. Let's see. Tempora. La tempora è caldo, or I should say today. So oggi. Today the weather is warm. Oggi. Tempor. It's feminine or masculine?
Masculine. Il.
El tempo. Okay,
Yeah.
oggi il tempo è caldo.
Good, correct. So, oggi, beginning of the sentence, il tempo è caldo. Or you can also say, oggi il tempo fa caldo. Okay, that's another way you can say it because you can use the word fare, which is the temperature is warm. So the weather is making warm today. God, it sounds so crazy when you translate it into English. Anyway, so you've got two ways of saying it. È caldo or fa caldo. All right, and the last one. Maria and Luca study for the exam. Doug, you do that one.
Maria e Luca studiano per l'esame.
Correct. Excellent. Okay, so now we can go back to these. All right, so mixed up. Bicchiere, acqua, uno, bevono ragazzi di. Okay, let's see. You can, so whoever's not doing it, you can look at the next one and see and volunteer. All right, let's go with Mary Beth. You try the first one.
Ay, ay, ay. What's confusing me is I would say is ragazzi, I ragazzi
Yeah,
bevono
yeah,
un bicchiere di acqua.
good. Ragazzi bevono un bicchiere di acqua. So do you think that's a statement, a sentence, or a question?
Question?
Question, correct, because it doesn't have I ragazzi.
Okay.
Okay, so you got ragazzi bevono un bicchiere di acqua.
Oh, so ragazzi, comma.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. Good. Scrive Maria lettera una. Robert.
Maria scrive una lettera.
Good. Jan, parlano italiano amici miei.
Okay, so they speak Italian, my friends. They speak Italian. So my friends, i miei amici parlano.
I miei amici italiani parlano. Because you're now not talking about your Italian friends, you're talking about your friends speaking Italian. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so I
So
miei,
parlano. So i miei, my friends, they speak Italian.
no, they're not, we're not talking about speaking Italian.
Oh, they are. Okay, then I mixed up. I'm sorry.
My Italian friends speak. That's what your sentence is saying. Because
Okay,
you got
thank you.
I miei amici italiani. You're describing your friends as being Italiani and then parlano. Okay, so I miei amici italiani parlano. All right, the next one. Mangia sempre Marco verdure. And don't forget to add your articles. Let's see. Robin, can you do that one? Yeah.
Yes, sorry. Marco mangia sempre verdure.
Correct. Marco mangia sempre le verdure.
Le verdure.
Yeah, don't forget to add your article. Pomeriggio il libro leggo. Doug.
Leggio i libri il pomeriggio.
Okay, what did we say about time comes where?
Well, you said it could go in either place. So
Okay,
so I will.
so you're going with Lego?
I'll go ahead and go. I'll go the other way then. I'll go il pomeriggio leggo i libri.
That's it. That's the correct one. Il pomeriggio leggo i libri. Okay, good. Cantano loro canzone una. Who do we have? Suzanne.
Loro cantano una canzone.
Good, correct. Nina, il pranzo cucina madre mia.
Mia madre cucina il pranzo.
Correct. Good. Guarda televisione Marco là. Jen.
Let's see. So Marco, he watches the television. Marco guarda la televisione.
Good. Camera pulisco mia là. Mary Beth.
Pulisco la mia camera.
Good. Pulisco la mia camera. And the last one. Bambini giocano parco nel. Robin.
I bambini giocano nel parco.
Correct. I bambini giocano nel parco. Okay. Good. So, any questions on word order?
Just one thing on sentence 9 there. Sorry, can you put it back up again? Because I don't know if I can
Sure.
remember it.
Hold on.
When I was looking at that, I was going to say Polisco la mia camera.
So the
I clean
second,
my room.
pulisco la mia camera.
Mm.
Yeah. So
And I
what?
think the correct answer was mio poli. No, sorry. I think I was going to go mio polisco la camera.
No.
Would that be right too? No.
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 Mio pulisco. What were you going to say? Io pulisco.
No, I was going to say Polisco la mia camera.
Okay, that's the correct one.
Okay.
Pulisco la
Uh,
mia camera
So
is correct.
mia Polisco la camera would be wrong because it should be mio then.
Totally wrong. No, you can't put mio pulisco.
Okay.
So mia camera is indicating that it's your room. So it has to go, it has to precede la camera.
Okay.
So you can't put mio pulisco. So if you want to put io pulisco la mia camera, if you want to put io in front of pulisco, but you can't put mio because
Okay.
mio is indicating the object.
Understand.
All
Okay,
right.
yes.
Any other questions?
Would you go over 3 again, please?
Hold
The
on.
Italian friends and my friends speaking Italian threw me for a loop.
Yes, okay. Number 3 is parlano italiani amici miei. So, I amici sono italiani. So the friends are the Italians that you're describing your friends. Italiani is your adjective. So, I miei amici italiani parlano. So my Italian friends are speaking.
So how would you say my friends are speaking Italian?
Then you would say I miei amici parlano italiano.
Okay.
Okay, so that's why
That's
you
what
see.
threw me for the loop there is I didn't see
Yes.
the distinction between the I and the O.
Correct.
Me
Okay.
neither.
Correct. That's what's in there so that you can see you're relating your adjective to your friends, which are plural. So now if you were going to say my friends are speaking Italian, your Italian now would not be plural because now your Italian is the object. So it would be Italiano. Okay, so that's why you've got to look carefully at my sentences. Some of them have tricks in them to check that you're paying attention. Ask
So
Jan,
quick,
she knows.
I don't know if it's a related question, but on some of the other things, the other sources that I use to learn, I see a person's name, whatever the name you want it to be, Giovanni.
Mhm.
And sometimes I see Giovanni does something, and then sometimes I see Giovanni does something. What's the difference between having just the name and then having a letter I in front of the name?
That's unusual. I've never heard that. There has to be more context to the sentence. You can say
Yeah,
Giovanni piace mangiare la pizza, or you can say a Giovanni piace mangiare la pizza.
Yeah, so what's the difference between the two? Yeah, I'm sorry, I couldn't remember the
There's
remainder of the content.
there's no difference. Again, it's a stylistic thing which you're saying specific, and it's also what are you trying to convey? So Giovanni piace mangiare la pizza. You're just generally saying Giovanni likes to eat a pizza. But when you say a Giovanni, you're putting more emphasis on Giovanni, that he particularly likes to eat pizza. So, for example, if you've got a family and you've got 4 or 5 people in the family, you're going to say a Giovanni piace la pizza. So you're directing your emphasis to Giovanni, so that everyone knows that it's Giovanni that likes the pizza. So it's purely for emphasis. It's not a grammatical not a grammatical thing that would be incorrect not to use it, and it's not incorrect not to use it. You know, so you can say either. Again, Italian is all about emphasis and context, and where you put your emphasis is what changes the context or the meaning of the sentence. Like when you have your question, just by changing your tone, you've changed the subject from a subject statement to a subject question. Okay. And sometimes you can also have prepositions and things that do that, precisely changes the context or creates emphasis. So a Giovanni would definitely just be to create emphasis, because it's not grammatically required to say a Giovanni. It's the same as saying a lui. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Good. Anything else? No, all good. Pretty simple today, not very heavy. No homework. So your homework this week is, again, I would like you to do a weekly journal of a day and using the past tense. So please send it through to me so that I can keep checking that you're writing the correct things. You don't have to write about your day. You can write about an event. You can write about something you're thinking of doing, or anything that you do. Just a few sentences weekly, just to make sure that you're getting that practice in. Okay. I
And
see
are
none
those
of
past tense or present tense or?
you because we've finished with present and we've finished with past, you can use both. In
Okay.
fact, I would like you to use both.
Thank you.
Okay. And also mix them up. So do a little bit of present and a little bit of past in your sentence so that you can see that you're using them correctly in context. Okay. Like I said, practice is what makes it perfect. So the more you practice, the better it is for you. And you will also highlight problems if you don't do the sentences and you don't practice and you don't get corrected. You don't know if you're making any mistakes and you're not progressing. Okay. So I see none of you took the courage to come and see La Dolce Vita on Saturday.
I was gonna ask, how was the movie?
It was crazy. I saw it so long ago. I actually didn't remember how absolutely boring that movie is. No, but it was interesting to see it in today's context, because a lot of the subjects and the themes that they were concentrating on actually have happened. And if you look at what they were preempting in the 60s, where we are now in the world, it's actually quite an interesting movie. I mean, the depravity and this lifestyle that we're living today was preempted in that time. So it made it quite interesting. I just wish it had been a little bit shorter. 3 hours was a long movie. But anyway, next week we have.
It was hard because it was at noon here.
Yes, I know.
It was lunchtime here.
Yeah, the timing is a bit. I'm thinking of not the next one, but the one after that, to do it at 5 o'clock Eastern. So at least it makes it a bit easier. So we'll try. But next week's movie is Totò. I don't know if anybody knows Totò, but he was one of Italy's greatest comedians. His speaking of Italian is not 100% proper Italian, so he speaks a little bit of dialect, which makes it very hysterical. There are subtitles, but it is a nice movie, and again, it is a classic because it's from the 30s and 40s, and so it's very, very fun. If you want to join us, just let me know, and that's it. All right, so that's it for today. if anyone has anything else to add. Otherwise, that's our lesson for today, and I will see you all next week.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Grazie.
Prego. Prego. Arrivederci.
Ciao.
Arrivederci,
Arrivederci.
grazie.
Prego. Ciao.